about this last week, though. The Mets are always, oh, look at them. They're just killing it. And then the second half is where things kind of go awry for them.
You didn't have to wait to the second half this time.
Maybe it's a reverse. Like they finally figured out where you are in July doesn't really matter when September and October are your ultimate goals. Perhaps there's a little something left in the tank for the Mets. There's another level they could get to.
No. No. Because, again, me betting on the Mets winning the Padres series going into it and springboarding themselves to a potential one was me betting that Scherzer and Verlander would pitch well. They're old. They're on a decline. They can still have some great nights, but they clearly can't consistently do it. They clearly are often injured. And both of those games, neither one of those guys were able to get a win, right? Like,
yeah.
In the first game, I believe it was Verlander, they were able to go to extra innings, still gave up 5. Both of those pitchers get knocked around against the Padres. Again, Padres, their lineup, you're bound to get knocked around, but both of those guys get knocked around. So if you don't have pitching, like the Mets don't have pitching. We thought they would, and they are a team with a history of good pitchers, but good pitchers that get hurt.
Yeah. I'm just watching them the other day and just thinking about what their rotation is now. A couple of guys they had to go and buy who are older, and thinking about what it could have been over the last 10 years or so. Mm-hmm. Like all of the great pitchers, all of the Cy Young contenders who have come through there, dudes who have some of the best young arms, none of them worked out for them.
They're the 49ers of baseball.
Yeah, it just...
Injuries at the biggest position.
It just keeps happening to them to an extent that is like borderline unbelievable. Man, if the Astros jump up to take that division and the Texas Rangers are in there, like the East is just so interesting though. Mm-hmm. Like you have the Orioles, they're 5 up, they have that top wild card seed now. And Toronto's right there. The Yankees and Sox are only a game or 2 out apiece. Man, the wild card race in the American League, I think, even though it's just as tight in the National League, maybe just because it's more like national brand teams in this race, but it's very, very tight. Who do you believe in most out of these like top 4 or 5 teams in the American League wild card race?
It just feels it's hard to believe the Yankees don't get it. They're game out of that final wild card spot. I'm not sure who to take out, but it's hard to believe.
It's really hard to take anyone out of the current standings. It would have to be the Blue Jays, right? Yeah. If it's one East team coming in, another one has to.
It would have to be the Blue Jays, but again, the Yankees not getting it with as talented team. Again, I know they're 7 games over 500, but they're similar to the Mets and the Padres in the fact that we thought they were going to be coming this season to be a real contender to win it all, be a championship team, and they are behind what we thought they would be.
Yeah.
They are behind the championship level we thought they could possibly bring in. So the Yankees are a team I go, okay, if things click and things get back, Aaron Judge is the one carrying things. If they can get things right and he can carry it through, maybe they sneak in and get in. But, again, just a lot of talent out there. Even the Red Sox, who nobody really talks about.
No.
They had a 5-game winning streak going into this thing. They had a 5-game winning streak going into it, and now it's like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, they're nipping. We thought they would be not close, but they're nipping 2 games out of that final wild card spot. So it's who do you take out? Who has a nosedive? Is the Rangers that have a nosedive? Is it the Orioles breaking down just like they broke down last year?
You wonder if Texas gets overtaken if they just like exhale and go, yeah. That was a fun little first half. Mm-hmm. Like I guess that would be the team. If I'm going to say one nosedives, it would be the Rangers. The NBA offseason is both incredibly dramatic and also at a complete standstill right now.
Yeah.
Like we're waiting for so many things to happen with some really big name guys. Mm-hmm. None of them seem close right now.
Yeah.
And all the teams are going, no, we're waiting this out. Like we talked about the idea of the player empowerment a week or 2 ago. Mm. It feels like the GMs and owners and everybody are just like, we're sick of this, man. Like, at what point do we have any control over how we trade? Like, we want something back for this player that nobody, like the team that he wants to go to is unwilling to give us, so we can't in good conscience just keep bowing down to the player every single time.
But see, I don't even think it's that. I just think it's you know what slinging contest. I just don't want to trade you when you want to be traded, how you want to be traded.
There's a lot.
The Kevin Durant thing, the owner was just like, I ain't trading you. No.
And
then eventually they trade him.
And finally gives in.
To Phoenix, right? But I'm not going to trade you where you want to go just because
you want to go there.
Just because you want to go there. It's like a slinging contest, despite y'all both being better off parting your separate
just
ways.
do this.
You're both better off this way. So why are you acting this way?
And he did get like half of Phoenix's roster. So.
Yeah, you did great with the trade.
Yeah.
But you just, want to make Dame's. But part of the issue is, okay, how many of these teams go into the season with the rosters they have and then make a trade? That's another aspect that's tough for the betting. So does Portland go in and maybe Dame just sits? But does Portland go in and say, we still have Dame? Do the Sixers go in, we still got James? And the Bulls, well, we'll blow it up when afterwards. So now it's like, okay, mid-season. And how does that affect how a team is able to go for the championship that season if you make that trade 45 games in?
And we've seen, I've seen up close with the Sixers a bunch of times. They've made mid-season moves, and they look great on paper. I will never get rid of my Sports Illustrated with the Sixers on the cover. Best starting five in basketball. Joel, Ben, Jimmy, Tobias, and Redick. That was a lot of fun. They lost in the second round, as they always do. What do you feel about the Patriots?
Who?
That's exactly. That's
even...
I've been hearing a lot of people who are a little, maybe not to win the division. This is a stacked division. But people who are a little higher on the Patriots than I would suspect. I think there's a real possibility they absolutely stink. But I've been hearing a little Patriots.
You see this blank stare? Blank staring you for a reason.
I see it.
What?
I see it.
What? No. Okay? Not in that division. Will they be a competitive squad because Bill Belichick is a good coach? Yes. I ain't winning jack squat. I'm going the under with them. The over-under, I believe, is 7.5. It's under. You
look at the odds for the top three teams, and they're all fairly close. The Bills 130, Jets 250, Dolphins 275. Then the Patriots all the way down there at 750. You want to go with one of the more co-favorites.
Yes, I'm going with the co-favorites. I'm going with the least one. Again, I think the Bills are going to win it, but the Dolphins, again, if they stay healthy, my worry is Tua staying healthy. I fear for his life, to be honest with you. So that could be an issue that can throw everything off. Mike White is the backup quarterback over there. Decent for a backup who can spell in some spots, but if he has to play several games, you're going to have some issues. But if Tua's healthy...
Do you think 275 is enough considering the risk with Tua? That's my concern. I don't think it's enough.
I think they're only third because of the risk of Tua. If they weren't worried about Tua, they'd be first. Again, they bring in Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Bring in Vic Fangio, right? You have Tyreek Hill, Mike Gesicki, Jalen Waddle. They would be overall favorites if people believed in Tua playing 17 games or even 15 games. So that's what I think. So you're on the Bills. You would bet the Bills. I would take the risk and go with the Dolphins, even though I'm with you on I think the Bills will win it.
I don't know. This might just be a division that I look at it and go, yeah, it's priced right.